What's up, everyone? Welcome to Cracka, which is comics, reviews, awesome movies, comedy, and anything else I think kicks ass. This is episode 19. I know in the previous episodes I was saying I was going to do a wrestling then and now, and video games and 80s stuff, and it's still coming. It's rough to get all my ideas into an actual episode, especially with you only get like 15 minutes and stuff like that, and I don't want to make them 20 parts, which is just rough. But they are coming. It's just I wanted to get this episode off my chest because there's a couple things that pissed me off, and I figured out, as much as I don't go into that on the show and things that piss me off, this is just kind of getting to me, and maybe it's like almost like group therapy if I go ahead and turn it around. Plus, I want to show you some of the cool stuff that I actually found, which was worth showing. Instead of putting it on crumbs, I figured I'd make an actual episode out of it. Without further ado, a couple episodes ago, or well, actually on crumbs, if you watch the show, it's just little tidbits that are not full episodes, just little things I thought were cool. I went to a place called Five Below, which is pretty much a couple blocks away from me, and they had some good comic deals. It was basically, you got 4 comics for $4, but you never know what you were going to get, but they had some good stuff. I went there yesterday. I kind of went on a little bit of a shopping spree. I'm evil like that from time to time. I get a bug and I want to run around and go spend money, but went on a little bit of shopping spree and went there, and I actually found something really cool. And people out there who love toys, they're going to say that's pretty cool too. So I found a Wolverine Mega from the Secret Wars. Granted, he only has one set of claws. You can see his claws right there. He's only got one. But the figure itself is actually in mint shape, which is hard to find, especially with the old characters. He doesn't have his shield or his other claw like they came in the box, but it did come with the plastic, which is pretty cool. And for $5, that's pretty damn good. I mean, that was a real just bargain right there. I just thought it was awesome. Forget to show that on there. Another thing that I found recently, I've been collecting them. Started to collect them. It's not that I'm shying away from toys. It's just that, like I said, stuff nowadays in the economy, they're so expensive and so on and so forth. And it's going to bring me into stuff that pisses me off. So I'll get to that. I started collecting the Marvel Universe figures. I used to collect all the old ones from the 90s, which were awesome. I just loved them, but they were kind of crazy. Like, Wolverine came out with a new uniform every, 2 months. But I would bug my parents, I got to get Gambit. Gambit came out, and, the Beast came out, and blah, blah. But they were kind of limited back then. It was just X-Men, Fantastic Four, some Marvel characters, Spider-Man, and that was pretty much it. I mean, they didn't go, crazy like they are now, which is kind of cool because in the Marvel Universe, they pretty much have everybody. And like I said, I recently started collecting. I don't really have like 4 or 5. I'll probably get into that in another episode. But my crown jewel, I just thought he was cool because it's the first time I've ever seen him in figure form, and I've been hunting him down for a couple months, which is kind of sad. But I finally found him at Target, and that's Darkhawk. As you can see, he's pretty detailed. He's got his wings. He's got his claws. It's pretty cool. At Target, he was only $8, which is pretty cool. If you go on eBay, sometimes they're cheaper, but they don't have the box. It's kind of a crapshoot with that too. What pisses me off, this is, like I said, I'm gonna get into this a little bit, is when you go to a comic book store. I mean, comic book stores. This guy, like if you go to any comic book stores, is probably $15, $16 or more, give or take. If I had my own comic book store, I'd probably do the same thing that I've seen done recently. You see. Because I frequent a lot of comic book stores, so I know that's why the only reason I noticed it is that the comic book store owners send people out to stores like Target and Walmart, and they just pick up pretty much everything they can on certain things. Like, I've seen comic book store owners go to Target and just wipe them all out of these. Just, they're gone, so nobody else kind of gets a chance, and you have no choice but to go to the store and be like, oh, I can't get it for $8. I'm gonna have to pay $16 now. I mean, that does blow in a major way. But like I said, I must have, the toy gods must have shined upon me and said, hey, you know what, give the guy a break. He's having a rough day. We're going to give him Darkhawk. Which was pretty cool. I found him. But like I said, with the comic book store things, if I had a store, I probably would do the same thing, but I wouldn't overkill it. Like, I mean, if I bought this for $8 at the store, at Target, I would probably sell it for maybe like 11 or even 10. I'm making a profit, but I'm not crushing it, and not making it to the point where people can't, actually enjoy it and buy it and say, oh, I can get this and I can buy something else. Comic book stores in general, it's it's rough, especially nowadays. Like I said, the economy, it sucks, and everyone's got to make their money somehow. And I'm not angry at stores. It's just like it just sucks so bad because when you're on a low budget and you're like, oh, I got to freaking try to track this thing down forever. Anyway, let's not go on a huge evil rant because I'll probably scream, and we don't want to see that. But moving on to some of the comics that I got, this is another thing I'm gonna get into that pissed me off. But we'll get into that too. I didn't read all these. I only read a couple of them, and the ones I read were actually really good. Can't wait to read the rest that I got. But I got Justice League #5. Very, very cool. The Secret Avengers. Very cool. Amazing Spider-Man. I actually really like this cover. I don't know why. I just thought it was cool. Green Lantern #6. The Dark Knight #5. Oop, almost bent it. #5 and #6 because I've been behind. I also got, last but not least, Superman. The ones I read, I didn't read Superman. I didn't read any of the Dark Knights. The only ones I read so far were the Amazing Spider-Man, which was pretty damn good. It had just an awesome Morbius artwork. I mean, I've never seen Morbius done that way, and I thought it was really cool. It made him just interesting. Other than that, I mean, it wasn't a bad book. Secret Avengers, it was kind of boring in a roundabout sort of way. Like, the artwork I'm not really a fan of, but it was just cool because they finally put Venom in there. Justice League, on the other hand, like I said, this book has been really kicking ass. It's very, very good. They fight Darkseid in this. I missed #4, like I said, because I'm on a low budget and got to kind of cut corners here and there. But anyway, they fight Darkseid in there, and I'm going to throw a spoiler up there because in case you haven't read it, one of the coolest things in there is Green Lantern. Like, they just shows like not that he's crazy, that he's got guts. Like, he goes after Darkseid. Darkseid breaks his arm, and Green Lantern is still ready to go. He's like, is that all you got? I'm come after you anyway. After a couple failed attempts, Batman actually stops him and says, you got to start using your head more than your guts. He's like, because you're going to get killed out there. And Green Lantern basically says, if I die, I die. That's how it's going to go. He's like, my ring still works. I'm ready to go. And Batman looks at him and he says to him, he's like, you're standing next to an alien, a living lightning bolt, an Amazon princess, and an Aquaman, and but you and I are the most normal out of the group. And like I said, this is the cool part. Lantern's like, you consider wearing a batsuit normal, and Batman goes, no, it's insane. So he takes off his mask and he shows Green Lantern who he is. He goes, I'm Bruce Wayne. And the best part is Green Lantern goes, who the hell is Bruce Wayne? And he's looking at him like, am I supposed to know you? But that was just awesome. It made me laugh. I was like, wow, man. He just doesn't care. He's like, I don't know who you are, whatever. But moving on into something that pisses me off. Like I said, I was talking about the comic book stores and how they're kind of, not that they're greedy, but this is, like I said, I'm probably going to date myself, and I also hear the voice of my father in my head talking about it, which is kind of funny. I remember when I was buying comics, and my father used to say, like, oh, back when I was a kid, comics were a nickel, and you got a trading pack with them, a pack of baseball cards, and like all this stuff for a nickel. And I was like, yeah, whatever you say, But if you really look at it, you look at the 80s, you look at Captain America, he was only 75 cents. This was in like 88. If you look at 89, like the War Journal was $1.50. Which, it isn't too bad. Like I said, I blame the economy because it does suck, but also you got to look at it as that things are going to go up whether the economy sucks or not. I mean, it's just, that's how it is. Like, after year, they got to make their money. They got to raise up the price a little bit. But it's just sad on some things. Like, you look at the 90s issues, and any of the popular characters, Marvel was charging like $1.75 for Wolverine, Ghost Rider. Why they charged $1.75 for Deathlock is beyond me, and I'm sorry, Deathlock fans, I don't get it. But anyway, like, even if you look at like I said, the early 90s, Silver Surfer was only $1. And the only time they ever really kind of busted your balls was when they put out like some kind of special event like the Infinity Gauntlet, which was like $2.50, which wasn't bad, considering there was only a 6-issue thing. So you're kind of like, all right. But then you look at stuff like in the the year 2000, stuff like that. They started to go up. 225 for the JLA. Gotta get used to this camera. But anyway, now they claim, like I said, Marvel and DC, they claim that they've leveled out, which in a way they have. And I mean, you look at Spider-Man. You take a look. He's $2.99. So pretty much most of the Marvel stuff is $2.99, which you're like, all right, that ain't bad. I'm spending $3 for a book. But then you look at like this, the Secret Avengers. It's $3.99. They went up a buck. Certain things like, oh, we have Secret Avengers, it's popular, so we're going to charge you an extra $1. Same thing goes for DC. If you look at Superman, he's $2.99, whereas the Justice League is $3.99. Which, like a lot of people said, it's only $1, get over it, so on and so forth. But like I said, I'm dating myself, and here's my father's voice. When I was a kid in the 80s and the 90s, especially the 90s, because that's when I was really into the comics, you could go to the store with $10 and you were the richest man in the world. You could buy any comic you wanted, other than the old ones that are worth a fortune. But you could buy pretty much all the new stuff and still have money left over to go and get a slice of pizza. Nowadays, I mean, like I said, I'm dating myself again. Sorry, but nowadays, if you go into a store with $10, they laugh at you. They're like, you go in $10, you're going to be lucky if you come out with 3 new books, if that, with taxes and everything else. And it sucks because they're claiming that they're charging more because the paper is better and the artists are better and the stories are better. And I'll give you that. The paper is better. The artists, Jim Lee does the Justice League, and he's pretty much worth every penny because the artwork is pretty damn good. But besides that, they say like the artists have to make their money. They have to make their money. Like like the companies, like so on and so forth. Everyone's going to make their money. What blows is that it kind of hurts it in a way, because rather than going to a store and buying all the new stuff and talking to people about it, saying, I got the new Justice League, I got the new Batman, I got the new Superman, I got all the Aquaman, I got, blah, blah, blah. It sucks because you really can't do that anymore unless you have, a fortune. Like me, like I said, limited budget. As you see, like the very limited amount of comics that I've been getting lately, I've actually been cutting it too. Like I used to go every month, I used to go every, week. Hell, I used to go every other day when I was a kid, but now it's like I go every couple months and I try to pick up what I can, but I can't get the stuff that I want to get because it's just too expensive. And the other thing that kind of is a ball buster is, say you got Justice League number 5, right, and it's got Darkseid in it, like I was saying. If it's a really good issue, the comic stores, smart as they are, will pull 1 or 2 of them, bag them, and put them up on top of the display when they're sold out. And they will charge you double the amount because now you're looking for it, or they know you're looking for it. So now $3.99 easily becomes $10.99 or $9.99 or $15.99, whatever they want to charge. And like I said, if I had my own comic store, which I would love to own, but like I said, I'm piss poor, I wouldn't charge people a fortune for them. I mean, I'd make a profit, sure, but I wouldn't charge somebody an extra like $8 on a comic that just came out a month ago. Comic stores own it, you know who you are out there. It hurts the little guy, basically. It's damaging in a way because, like I said, I love comic books. I love reading them. DC is blowing my mind away with the stuff that they're doing, which is it's really good lately. Marvel's kind of pumping out a lot of titles, and some of them suck, some of them aren't bad, but DC's actually winning this time. I mean, as much as I'm not going to say I hate to say that because I wasn't a huge DC fan, but I've become one recently. Well, not recently, a couple, 2000. I started one DC more and more. It's not getting to me really. But it's just true. Like I said, I normally don't go on things that I hate on the show because I just kind of like to keep things positive and run up sort of way. But it does. It pisses me off. I can't go to a comic book store and get the new titles because they're too expensive. And it sucks. And like I keep saying, it does hurt the little guy. Then you're not going to be able to go with, you bust your ass all week at work. You make a couple $100. You're paying your rent. You're paying your food. And then you're like, oh, I have $20 to myself. I'll go get some comics, and you're like, oh crap, I can only buy 2 comics. I have to wait another couple months or whatever to save up another small fortune to go there. Especially even with toys. Like if you're collecting toys, God bless you, because that's expensive as hell on its own right. But anyway, like I said, I try not to go too crazy, but I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll try to get more out faster, and more fun stuff. More, I'll do more reviews and stuff like that. So thanks for watching.